We covered English language art, we covered the math, right? Next is science, okay? So science, for the 5th grader, demonstrate an understanding of science content and concepts, okay? So, you see, in the public school, they put science in a very important position. Language and math is routine, living skills, but science, they put it into the immediate next subject, right? Demonstrate an understanding of science concept and contents. Now, this is very American. I have to say that science seems to be very American. Talks about America. Why that's the case? What does it mean? I will illustrate a little later, but let's look at the science part, okay? Next, in terms of science requirement.
Science, right? Science.
Science. Do you have any questions about contents and concept of science? What means content of science? What means concept of science? Do you understand that?
Yeah, concept of science.
Do you understand the concept?
Yeah, concept.
What is the concept of science?
Concept. What's the outline meaning, right? Concept of the
What is
science.
science?
Science.
I'm asking you.
Nature.
What is science?
Science is the nature. Nature's.
Science, as defined by modern people, is a method to learn the truth. A method. A method to learn the truth of the world. Okay. Methods.
How to do.
About how you can find the truth in this world. Okay. But modern science that the school is teaching, that is being labeled science, is not real science. That is another big problem. I will address that. Anyway, in terms of science concept, science content, this is a big challenge right here. For example, right now, let's look at how the school is teaching children science. I will read. Use reading, writing, and mathematics to gather, interpret, and use evidence in science content and concepts. Many parents will never understand what does it mean. Do you understand what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Really don't, right?
Yeah. No.
They have no idea what this is. Oh, I'm stupid. I'm ignorant. I really have no idea. Okay, you teachers, go. Take care of my students, my children, because we are just ignorant enough not to be able to understand such sophistications in America. Wow, America is so sophisticated, science, so big. Well, we have no idea. Go teach our children, become smart, become rich, become powerful. That's good enough. Go, right? The parents, in their heart, they basically surrender themselves in front of the American system and claim that we are ignorant. We are foreigners. We don't know what to do. America is so great, it's so rich, it's so powerful. They must know what to do. So are we going to hand our children to you guys and make sure you take care of our children? That's what most of the immigrants' parents, they are daydreaming. They think the public school teachers will do such a job. But guess what? Those teachers also don't know what they're talking about either. That's the problem. I can guarantee you, very few people understand what means science contents and science concepts. Very few people understand it. You know who knows about it? Do you know who really know about science contents and science concepts? The philosophers. The Greek philosophers. Aristotle, right? Plato, Socrates, right? Socrates and Plato, they were the one that set up. They are actually the founding father of the current Western lineage of science. Very, in every regard, it also went through many updates, many narrowings, many misinterpretation of the original, founder of this school of science, Western science. So right now, the modern science that we're talking about, most people have no clue. Regular people have absolutely no clue how it works. People was just busy enough to catch up with how to use those technologies. They don't know how it was discovered. They don't know how it was discovered. They don't know what is the blind spot of those discoveries. They don't know the danger, the side effect of those discoveries either. So the whole world is passively like a blind man following the blind. And it's a very dangerous system, because if you don't know, you really don't know the mechanism, the rationality behind all these discoveries, you give it a lot of power to control you. You know what I mean? So it's a very, very serious subject about science education in the public school system. And I will have to, in our school, I'm going to totally challenge it. And I'm going to add ancient science. I will add a totally different way of science into our science education. I tell you currently what's the problem, the biggest problem of the current so-called science. Math Lee actually has awakened me. Otherwise, I would never know that I was blind. But Math Lee awakened me. Okay. Now I can also awake you and awaken many other people about it. You know what is the blind spot of it? All the current scientific content and concepts is based upon the visible, the tangible world, the material world. Okay. It basically goes like this. First, observe. Phenomena. Observe. Second, dissect the phenomena to understand the mechanisms of the phenomena. Third, manipulate the mechanism for our own profit. I summarize it all about the concept and the content of science. I think nobody is doing that so far. Nobody is really doing that to make it clear that this is what science is all about. Visible, tangible, material world as the subject of study. Method is dissection. I give you an example. In order to understand the human body, anatomy. First, what means anatomy? Anatomy is to take part of the whole human body. Eye structure, nose structure, bones, heart, kidney. Do you know what I mean? Use a knife, cut open the body. Take out the skin, the muscle, the fat, right? The organs, put them back and look at where they are, how they interrelate with each other, how they work together, and further details to understand what a human body is made of and how the human body operates. Am I correct?
Yeah.
That's called the science of the human body. If you want to understand how the computer works, you have to take it apart and look at all the details of the different parts of them to understand how they are put together, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That's called science, right?
Right.
If you look at the science of chemistry, it is about look at how the different molecules work, atoms work, correct? What is atom? How the molecule is made of? Oh, made of atom. What is atom is made of? Oh, made of electron and proton and a neutron. Oh, how they spin around the center, right? Oh, let's look at how the proton works, dissect further, right? Bend it, right? Open it up, crush it, right? To see what it's made of, correct?
Yeah.
So basically, this is called modern science.
Mm-hmm.
What about spirituality? What about morality? Right?
Right.
What about mind?
Mm-hmm.
What about faith? Right?
Mm-hmm.
What about miracles? Right? What about God? Buddha? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You think modern science can dissect God?
They could not.
Because they cannot see God. They
Yeah.
don't even believe God,
Mm.
the existence, according to the modern science framework, right?
Mm.
Like this big, right?
Mm.
Correct?
Correct.
So that's why I'm saying science right now is being educated. That I say it's very American. Don't you think it's very dangerous?
Yeah.
Don't you think
dangerous,
it's
yeah.
extremely dangerous?
Yeah.
Because if currently the public school is using this size to look at the world,
Mm.
and if this size cannot see, then the rest of the world doesn't exist.
Mm.
If I see it, I exist. If I don't see it, I don't agree that they exist. So our children all become like this.
Mm.
Correct?
Mm.
The education of the children, number one, they are deprived of their culture.
Mm.
They're deprived of their language. Correct?
Mm.
They are only given science. Right? These limited ones.
Mm.
And how are they going to be able to be normal? How America can be great again with this kind of education method? I don't think it's going to work. It doesn't matter how much money Musk save us from corruption. It doesn't matter how Trump, hope that America is going to be great again. But if this education system exists like this,
Mm.
I think it doesn't take too long, America is going to go down the tube. Because it's the human. The quality of human mind is very low.
Mm.
Totally deprived of, I don't see a sign of morality here. I don't see a sign of spirituality here.
Yeah.
I don't see a sign of any really normal human mind architecture nutrients here. Big time problem, right?
Yeah.
I will very quickly finish this science part and we'll pause, okay? So, science content, science concept. Use reading, writing, and mathematics to gather and use evidence in science. It's nonsense, okay? Basically, it's saying that the reason we're going to teach you math, the reason we teach you English, for you to be able to read and write and listen and speak, is for you to be able to become a scientist. Because this way, you can gather data. You can interpret data,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, English language arts and mathematics are only tools for science. Basically, this is saying that, okay? Makes and tests predictions, seeks answers, and develops solutions. This is all very important to be able to have a prediction, test it, find the answer, and develop solutions. That's also basically called a modern science approach.
Mm-hmm.
What this is telling pretty much is called a modern science approach. I already told you modern science approach is about observe the phenomena. When you observe the phenomena, you need to gather the information, right? So that's called, you need to use English language, art to be able to communicate the information, gather the information, use mathematics to calculate the data and stuff like that. And when you gather those superficial information, then you make a prediction, and then you need to test it, and then you need to develop solutions. So human right now, modern human, the mind is being programmed into one linear way of approaching the truth. Are you understanding what I'm saying? look, truth, right? Have many different ways you can approach to find it. But right now, the public school is only telling children one way street. If you don't use that way, you are not considered to be normal. You have to use this way to find the truth. But sadly, the way that you are telling the children to find the truth can never find the truth. So basically, this is a dead end road for the public students right now. They're teaching. Pause.